Hey everyone, great episode today. We're talking with Dr. Andrew Williamson, who's going to be, sharing his 25 years of experience in the profession. Andrew has been really astute with money throughout his career. He's sent 25 people to chiropractic school, and his strategy for bringing in associate docs is maybe the first time I've heard it. It's an obvious one, but it's a rare approach. So great episode. And our sponsor for this episode is The Remarkable Practice. Dr. Stephen Franson, Dr. Peter Camiolo, and their entire crew of coaches. They specialize in 4 seasons of your practice: launch, scale, build, and exit. Please check out their podcast, The Remarkable Practice, on any of the podcast platforms. Let's jump in to today's show.
Hey everyone, welcome to the UAC Best Practices Podcast. We hope the vision here is that you can learn something, a little nugget from one of our UAC members, something that you can take and apply to your practice or your life or whatever it might be. So really happy to be here today with my co-host, Dr. Alan Miner. And Doctor, you want to take us away?
Hey, Cap.
Yep.
Thanks, man. We missed you on the last couple ones. It's good to have you back.
Good to be back.
And we have, from the second year UAC was founded, Dr. Andrew Williamson has been in and around, and he's also been part of one of the accountability groups that is the longest running in UAC. And you've been in practice now 25 years, Andrew. I want to talk a little bit about, as you have 4 docs in there and you're unwinding yourself. I know there's also stuff to reflect on in 25 years, but I got to start with something you talked last time you came on this, which is a few years ago, that, I don't know, it seems so simple, but it was profound for me and I put into use. And it's simply using lines of credit on your business, houses, whatever, so that you can invest all your money. So instead of keeping a pile of cash, which I was at the time was like, how much cash do you need to keep on hand? And nobody has a good answer for that. But your response was, I want every one of those dollars are my soldiers and I want them working for me. So I take lines of credit. So if I need cash, I can get it right away, but that way I can invest every dollar. And that really changed how I approached, the cash reserve side of the equation. And I just want to start there because if people miss that, I think as doctors get further in the career and they've paid off some assets and maybe they don't have a house payment or a building payment, you just start wondering, how much cash do I need? And it just bugged me to have cash sitting there, but it's what you're supposed to do. So I got to thank you for that. That was insightful.
More than welcome. My pleasure.
So
Absolutely.
Where do you want to take it, Doc? I mean, you got a lot to share. There's a lot of wisdom. I mean, I'll just tee up. You're unwinding yourself from practice. How's that looking? Where are you finding people? How are you transitioning them in? What's the exit plan, or is there one? Are you going to keep it going and have a team run it? Or are you going to sell it? I mean, talk to us about this arc.
Absolutely. So, interestingly enough, about a year and a couple months ago, I broke my collarbone out on a mountain bike ride. And, I guess the universe said, hey, it's time for you to change up some things. And that's what happened with that. So I was very fortunate that I had an associate doctor that was really waiting in the wings for me. He was a student that did his peak internship through Life University with me. He was also a previous patient. So at the time I didn't have space for him because I was still in that full-time mode. But I was like, okay, it looks like you're going to come in and cover the office for the next 8 weeks. You're up, brother. Let's make this happen. And so make it or break it. So what happens is 8 weeks into it, I'm healed, I'm ready to get back in the office. And I realized that he really made himself indispensable. And that was a beautiful blessing. I said, you know what, Dr. Kevin, you're doing a great job. And I thought to myself, the last thing I need to do is lose someone like this. So I already had an associate doctor who was really kind of tees up everything and heads up everything mostly for us. And then Dr. Kevin comes on and says, look, man, you made yourself indispensable. So let's go ahead and just, let's draw up a contract. And that was about a year ago, because he just signed another year contract with us. And I was very fortunate to have him in the wings. And what I have found over the years is that my biggest kind of like basis of how I find my associates is it's usually previous patients which is a cool thing because you know how a lot of times we find our front desk people from patients, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've had 25 people become chiropractors. So it was a great thing that he went through chiropractic school on my recommendation and Andrew and I's recommendation, becomes a chiropractor. So I kind of feed that. It's kind of my farm league and that sort of thing. And it's working out well for me. And I believe that, you know, the true blessing of a profession is how many people can you convince to do exactly what you do?
Yep.
Yeah. So 25 years, 25 people to chiropractic school,
Yes.
1 a year.
1 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always considered that is the most important metric for
100%.
me. How many people have I sent to chiropractic school? I'm way behind you. I'm around 11. But I had one come back around into practice after, and that's neat, Andrew. I mean, you talk about having a long-term vision of what you're doing. That's probably a bit of a mind shift as people are struggling for where do I find a doc? How do I find them? What do I pay them? You're back here going, well, yeah, I got these people that learned chiropractic from me, got inspired to be a chiropractor, went to school, and now they're coming back around and partnering up and collaborating and working. That is cool.
Talk about being on mission with you, right? So
100%.
have you ever, I'm just curious, have you ever had any of them come through and have you helped them go open a practice nearby and partnered with them? And because I've heard that happen too.
Yeah, well, that's a real good point. That's a cool thing with that. So most recently, my nephew, who's been a justice since a baby, finished up with Life University. And just last Friday, he finished up with his his peak program with us. And you know, midway through, I said, you know what, we had the idea of, you know what, I think it would be nice to open up a practice and have him run that sort of practice. He came to us and he said, you know, listen, I'd like to try to do this on my own. With you guys' guidance. I said, absolutely. I'd love that. That would warm my heart, nothing more. So have I had like other practitioners, you know, open up practices in nearby areas? Yes. And help them out with that? Yes, absolutely. Cool. I've never partnership with these people. I'm at a point in my life where I really want to see them grow. The partnership is a great thing. I think it's a beautiful blessing to have that. I just, I'm very particular about my time at this point in my life. So, you know, we talked about like I'm kind of unwinding things. And I talk about like I'm kind of a hybrid chiropractor right now, and it's the best gas mileage you ever get is being a hybrid chiropractor. So yes, I'm in the office a bit, and there's also a fair amount of time when I'm not in the office. So I didn't at this point in my life I wasn't looking to necessarily do another practice. Now, you know, it kind of goes back to there's a quote from Nathaniel Brandon that Patrick Gentempo says that, you know, leisure is a worthwhile human activity, and I truly believe it. It's great. I mean I love my bike rides. I love getting out and enjoying and traveling and those type of things, and I'm able to do those things now because I have that hybrid type of chiropractic lifestyle.
Andrew, your wife Andrea's in there. She's a chiropractor too, right?
She is, absolutely. Yep.
And how have you managed that for, you know, that's something we've never asked about. You guys have had a career together, successful relationship in and out of the practice. Any best practices there around, you know, spouses that are working together inside of clinics?
Yeah, you know, I want to work with my best friend. It's a great thing. So I've been very fortunate to have her with me. And that's a quite honest truth. 25 years into this, and I still feel like that. And the best thing about it is she doesn't steal from me. It's great, and I don't steal from her. So, but I will tell you, are there times when there's bumps and bruises, that sort of thing? Yes, I think it happens with any relationship, whether they're working together or not. But the blessing that we've had is that, like, she's, you know, a lot of times I'm in the office when she isn't, or whatever the case is with that. And she took a break during raising our kids and our family, so I was able to run the practice. So I was like a solo practitioner for quite some time with that. And then when she comes back in, it was a nice breath of fresh air, and it's been a great blessing. It really has. I mean, you know, I've heard many people, like, you know, say, "Oh, there's no way I could ever work with my wife." It's like, well, you did marry her, didn't you? You're working together towards something, whether you know it or not. Yes.
Well, so what are some other gems? 25. Well, let me ask, as I started, what's the game plan in 5 years? Are you going to hold on to this and operate it? Are you going to sell it? What are you thinking your future looks like?
Yeah, I may be looking in the future for some sort of, you know, buy-in, possibly from the existing doctors. My son, who's a sophomore at James Madison University right now, is studying. He wants to become a chiropractor. So
Awesome.
he'll be 26. He'll be the 26th chiropractor that I've made, that I've
That's good.
motivated to become a chiropractor. So where that goes with that, it'd be a neat thing. And quite honestly, with the way things are working now, my schedule is such that I really, I mean, I enjoy being a chiropractor. So I love it, love it, love it, love it. I also enjoy not being the lead dog, as far as I'm the one that gives all the patient care. So
Yep.
the way this is now at 54 years old, could I do this for another 10 years? Easily. And the blessing is I don't have to do it. I haven't had to do it for a long time. I've been very fortunate. I've been blessed financially. So I feel very fortunate in that aspect of things. So it really is a fun experience for me in my life right now. And I'm living my purpose. And that
Andrew,
purpose,
what's here's a question for you. What advice would you give to a new grad who comes out with 300,000 of debt
yep.
but who really would, like to be in a position after a career where they don't have to work, and you're in that position, I think, where you do it because you love it, but you could walk away from it today and you'd be just fine for your future.
Yep.
What moves do you think are important? Like, well, what advice do you give that younger generation of chiros who are trying to get on their own? There's a lot of debt, maybe taking on debt or buying a clinic. Yeah, what's your insights for them?
Perfect. It's funny because I've had that conversation with many of them, and it depends on whether that's more of an analytical mind or more of a metaphysical mind that I'm dealing with. And a lot of times, the analytical mind, I'll say, okay, let's work that $300,000 backwards. How many visits is that at $70 or $80 a visit, right? So you can kind
Yep.
of get that idea, and they realize, well, that's not such a big number, that sort of thing. Yes, it's a
Yeah.
big number, but when we chunk it down, we can see that. In the metaphysical mind, the people that are more like along that line of things, and I kind of have the blessing of both sides with that. I say, convert your life to service, and the universe is going to provide. God provides for you. You're going to serve humankind, you're going to serve mankind, and you are going to be remunerated for that. And you are remunerated depending upon how well you serve another human being. So just convert your life to service, and that $300,000 will, just keep on whittling away at that, get that taken care of, and then when you're ready to start, investing aggressively, and just continue as if you had that $300,000 payment, but now that payment just goes into investments.
I love it. It's great advice. What other insights? 25 years in, any high
Yeah.
level, wisdom to share with the rest of us?
Yeah. So I tell you, Andrew and I also often say this. We say, I never regret saving aggressively at a young age. So one of my coaches at the time, Tony Russo, great guy. You guys probably know. I'm sorry, not Tony Russo, Alan Russo. Alan Russo is with the Master Circle, awesome guy. I was telling him how aggressive I was as far as saving money. We were living a great life, a modest life, and that sort of thing. But I was very aggressive about saving money, and I think it's kind of ingrained in my whole being as far as how I was brought up. Money was always, too tight to mention type of thing in my own, lifestyle as a child. So I wanted to make sure I did everything I possibly could, where I never was in that boat. So he said to me, he says, at the rate you're saving and what you're investing in, eventually your money is going to make more than you. So that's a real neat thing. So I love that part of my life now, because it really, chiropractic is a blessing and it's fun, and it's so much more fun when the money's out of the way. It's like, you're having, okay, that patient doesn't accept care, no problem, it's okay,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, the biggest advice I would say is get your debts taken care of, especially with the student loan debts. And then after that point, just be aggressive about saving the money. Don't get stuck in, there's the Parkinson's law, which is a really neat law. Not the disease Parkinson's, but actual Parkinson's law. As our income goes up, our expenses go up. So, our income goes up, and, I want you to reward yourself, enjoy things, enjoy your monies, but you don't need that Ferrari at 30 years old. You just don't need that. So as your income goes up, keep your expenses where they are, and in that delta between there, you can actually save so much more in those areas. So I'm big on, aggressively investing, put the money away now. So that way, when the time effect on money, there's nothing like it. It's gonna really reap its rewards. And you have to have delayed gratification. It's the marshmallow test, right? You can have one marshmallow now or two in my case, 25 years from now. I chose the two later on, and that second marshmallow is really good. It's not even stale.
The seventh wonder of the world, compounding interest, right?
100%, 100%. Yeah.
What about related to the practice? Any insights you'd share, new grad, about how you've grown it, how you've built this business, this clinic, whether it's for the people working with you or the people you serve?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Great. So like one of the big things we are big into is doing as much for our community as possible. And we always want to be donating as much as possible, even when we didn't have money. So to our church or to local organizations. So make charity part of your practice as much as possible with that. Whether it be, this week we're going to give $5 for every visit that comes into the local whatever charity of your choice is. So that's one of those things. And then also never don't diagnose a pocketbook, because you'll be
Mm,
wrong 99% of the times.
yeah,
Because you have that guy or gal that comes in who's dressed real nice, and we have those patients as well. And you think that they're the ones that are that are going to be your they're going to be your lifeline. They're going to give everything to you from their abundance and that sort of thing. But you don't diagnose that, because the guy who comes in Wranglers, he respects and loves your care just as much as possible as well, and he could be the one that it really does give you makes your life abundantly wealthy from that.
absolutely.
Yeah. So no diagnosing the pocketbooks. Don't let your finances get ahead of patient care.
Yep.
And Nate run the show, right? So let the truth of chiropractic, the subluxation complex, make sure we always mention that, and the fact that we are self-healing, self-regulating mechanisms. What a beautiful blessing. That makes it real simple, real simple.
A lot of that's what Warren Buffett teaches with emotion, and you're talking about getting emotion out of the way.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it is when you're judging people on looks and cars and purses and
Yeah.
clothing or your own lack of needing to make ends meet, it really shifts the energy of how you approach people. And we probably all three experienced that, where you're coming from a place of desperation when you really don't care what this person does. And of course, when you're in that space, so many more people are drawn to you and start care
Yep.
with you and look to you for healing and help. But it's so esoteric. It's not easy for a new grad to
Yeah, it's
understand
hard
that
to
side of the
Yeah.
grasp that,
equation.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you've done it. And it's been a long time since I've been in practice, but yeah, I can see that. I remember it very well. When there
Yeah.
were times when especially I was young at that time, like you just feel like you need, and then there's times where you were able to let go, and you're like, wow, that's so much better. That's so much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the flow of life, right? The flow of life.
Yep.
Just and
great
look,
advice.
it's
It's real.
consistent. Yes, 100%. It's consistency. It's consistent, persistent. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm consistently persistent. I'm still going to the office when I want to go to the office, and I'm still delivering top notch chiropractic care, even at even at this point in life, right? But it's that consistent persistence. Keep on moving forward and always enriching yourself with not necessarily the financial aspects of things, but like what you feed your head, the groups you hang out with, the accountability group. If you don't have one, get one. We just celebrated our 11th year together, and they haven't kicked me out yet. So that's always a good sign.
Hey, to put a bow tie on this and wrap it up, Andrew,
Yep,
what's the biggest? We always finish this question.
for sure.
UAC, what's been your biggest takeaway from being in the group this long?
Hanging around with big minds that are moving the needle.
Yeah, me too.
So,
It's always helpful to get around people doing bigger things and get inspired
Yeah.
by that. It has been
yes,
a big benefit.
absolutely. Absolutely. For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Andrew, we appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for taking your time to
Always.
share with us today and coming on, man.
See you
Many
soon.
blessings to you all, guys. I
You too.
appreciate what you guys do, and thank you all very much. And let's further this thing called chiropractic.
I love it. Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
guys. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.